The Black Panther lunged at the boy, jaws wide open, but it was to save his life, because right below them, a giant python had been eyeing the boy hungrily. Only by getting him somewhere safe could the boy survive in this jungle. A panther lives alone, though no way to raise a child, so he set the boy down outside a wolf den, and left. But he didn't go far, not with the boy in danger. He hid in the bushes nearby. Soon, a head poked out of the den. A wolf pup spotted him first. Seeing the boy covered in blood, the little pup looked worried, but his brothers weren't so kind. They all bared their teeth and snarled. The blood drew the mother and father wolf out too, but when they saw it was a human child, they pulled back their fangs. They couldn't understand it. How did a human baby end up out here? The mother wolf licked the blood off him and realized he had no wounds. It wasn't hard to guess. The blood was probably his parents'. The boy looked so harmless that the mother wolf's heart melted at once.
He doesn't fear us.
She wanted to take the little human in, but taking him meant getting the Wolf King's approval, so the pack called a council. When they heard the plan was to adopt a human boy, everyone thought it was a joke, because the way they saw it, humans were dangerous, even a baby. Just as the Wolf King sat there undecided, that same panther showed up. He dragged in an elk as a gift for the pack, hoping it would buy the boy a place to stay, but the final say still belonged to the Wolf King. As he looked at the boy, torn, an unwelcome guest burst in. It was the tiger, the terror of the jungle. Years ago, humans had crippled his right leg. That's how the Wolf King rose to rule the jungle, so he hated both humans and the Wolf King. The tiger had come to claim the boy, because he just killed the boy's parents, but overlooked the child beside them. That's when the panther saved him and brought him to the pack.
You do not want to challenge me.
Seeing the tiger so brazen, the Wolf King had had enough. He decided to take the boy in for good, and ordered the pack to prepare for battle, facing the closing ranks of wolves, and the two great beasts at the king's side. The tiger knew he was outnumbered. All he could do was leave a threat. One day, he would eat the boy. Then he left. Those words were a clear challenge to the Wolf King's rule. He declared that from this day on, the whole pack would protect this human child. And so, under the Wolf King's protection, the boy slowly grew up in the jungle. The panther became his teacher. He taught him how to hunt, and the law of the jungle. After every kill, you look the animal in the eyes, so their spirit doesn't leave this world alone. He had another teacher too, an old bear. Unlike the panther, the bear was strict.
Mowgli, will you concentrate?
A scorpion crawled onto the boy's face and raised its stinger high, but the bear wouldn't let him move, training his focus and his courage. The bear was tough during lessons, but every time class ended, watching the boy walk away, he'd smile with pride. He truly loved this student, but because he looked different, the boy wasn't welcome in the pack. Only the mother and father wolf who raised him, and his wolf brother, treated him like family. One other shared his fate, a little white wolf. Born with albinism, he was always shunned and bullied by his own kind. But unlike the boy, the gentle little white never fought back.
Inside now.
Thanks. You shouldn't let them pick on you like that. We were only playing.
Better go home, babe.
Bye, Mowgli.
Luckily, with the little white wolf around, the boy's childhood wasn't too lonely. They were always playing hide and seek.
Gotcha. Oh, I nearly had you.
And so, two small hearts comforted each other in the jungle. The boy thought life would always be this easy, but one day, while he was swimming, he suddenly spotted that tiger he hadn't seen in so long. The tiger just licked his lips, and blood poured from his mouth. He must have just made a kill. The boy froze in fear. He quickly wedged his foot under a tree root underwater to keep from floating up, but he held his breath too long and let out a string of bubbles. It caught the tiger's attention at once. The tiger stared hard at the water, refusing to leave. Just as the boy was about to give out, the tiger turned and walked away. The boy climbed out and ran for his life, but a roar came from behind him. The tiger had been lying in wait after all. Running blind, the boy never saw it coming. He fell straight into a human trap. His scream rang out across the jungle. The panther, nearby, heard it and rushed over. Luckily, the boy was unhurt. He just missed the deadly spikes, but the tiger was circling the pit. Climbing out meant walking into the tiger's jaws. Just as the boy didn't know what to do, heavy footsteps came from above. Then something soft and fleshy snaked down, wrapped around the boy, and lifted him out. Once up, he stared at the creature before him, frozen in place. It was the jungle's guardian. An elephant had saved him. The old elephant was covered in moss, and most striking of all was his broken tusk. It was a haunting sight. The elephant wanted nothing in return. He just turned and left. The boy couldn't waste time either. He followed the panther and hurried off. But after that close call, the panther decided the jungle was no place for the boy. He needed to go back to the human village. Tigers fear human fire. Only there would he be safe. But the boy already saw this as home. He refused to leave, no matter what. The panther gave in, and made a deal with him. If the boy won first place in the next wolf hunt race, he could stay. The hunt race is simple. All the pups race, while one hunter tries to stop them. Whoever finishes first earns the right to become Wolf King, but no matter how hard you train, hands can't beat legs, so the boy was always half a step slower. He took to training alone after lessons, practicing again and again, learning to use his hands to his advantage. Only the bear, his sparring partner, knew how hard he worked. Finally, race day came. This time, the panther would play the hunter. Looking into those cold eyes, the boy was shaking all over. He knew this race wouldn't come easy. At the Wolf King's signal, all the pups shot forward. The weakest, little Little White, was the first one caught. The boy didn't fare much better. The panther charged straight at him, as if the boy was all he could see. Their eyes met, and the boy saw it clearly. The panther meant to kill. In a panic, the boy scrambled up a tree. The panther closed in, inch by inch. Luckily, being smaller had its perks. He slipped out through a gap. Then he swung along a vine to the other side. To win now, he'd have to break the rules. So the boy threw everything into one move and leapt off a cliff. By some miracle, he caught a branch, then slid down the trunk. With incredible momentum, he actually caught up to the pack. Seeing the boy rush in first, the bear's face filled with disbelief. But just as he was about to cross the finish line, a dark shape shot out. And just like that, he went down right before the finish. As the panther snarled coldly at him, the boy's eyes filled with fear and frustration. The fear came from the panther's ferocity. The frustration came from this. Anyone could see the panther was targeting him. Holding back tears, the boy turned to the bear in protest. The panther looked helpless too, but for the boy's safety, he had to play the villain. The loss was already final. Even as judge, the bear couldn't change it.
All of your lessons gave me nothing!
In the end, the boy left in tears. What he didn't know was that after he left, his two teachers got into a fight over him. The bear knew how hard the boy had worked for this race, but the panther had his reasons too. After losing, the boy sat alone by the river, heartbroken. His friend Little White came to comfort him, but that endless optimism of his only made the boy sick of him right then.
Еще как похоже! Ты особенный, и я тоже особенный.
Мы не особенные! Как ты не понимаешь? Мы не станем равными! Мы уроды! Ты не особенный, Пхот! И твоя мама твердит тебе это, чтобы подбодрить тебя! Ты родился уродом!
So even his only friend saw him that way, always smiling, even when bullied. Little White had never once cried, but now, a single tear rolled down. In the end, he quietly walked away. By the time the boy realized he'd lashed out in anger, Little White was already gone. He regretted the cruel words, but he had no idea how heartbreaking their next meeting would be. Trouble never comes alone. The old Wolf King, who loved the boy like his own, slipped up during a hunt. Not only did he miss his prey, he took a hard fall in front of the whole pack. The wolves all turned and stared. When the Wolf King returned home, he found the tiger had seized his territory. He'd even brought along a beast raised by humans to stir the pack into rebellion. Because the Wolf King had failed at the hunt, by the pack's law, he had to step down. The young ones couldn't see they were being manipulated. They all bared their fangs and attacked the Wolf King. The boy arrived just then, watching his own kind turn on each other. He didn't know what was happening. He moved in to stop it, but the bear held him back.
It's the lure.
The Wolf King handled the young pups easily enough, but he couldn't hold off an attack from all sides. He was about to fall. That's when the boy finally spotted the tiger among the wolves. In an instant, he understood everything. He raced down the mountain. The panther had told him tigers fear fire, so he ran to the human village and borrowed a flame. And so the boy came back to the pack, torch in hand. Waving the fire, he drove off the wolves attacking the king. Then he closed in on the tiger. The tiger flinched, frightened after all. He had no choice but to leave a threat and turn away. The boy came to the old Wolf King, about to ask if he was alright, but the Wolf King told him to get lost.
Turn the weapons of man upon us. You have brought the pack great shame. You have brought me great shame.
The sky opened up with a downpour. It doused the fire in the boy's heart, but not the blazing torch. As if to say, humans and animals have always been enemies. Now even the mother and father wolf said nothing to stop him. His two teachers, the bear and the panther, backed away too. Seeing this, the boy lost all hope. He tore off down the mountain like a madman. To prove he was a wolf, the boy stormed into the human village, waving his torch, facing the people down. But the next second, a hunter knocked him out. When he woke again, the villagers had locked him in an iron cage. No matter what he tried, he couldn't get out. Soon a hunter brought him a feast. The boy lay on the floor and sniffed it, then bit down like a wolf. But the next second, he flipped the plate over. He'd never tasted human cooking. The salt made him sneeze. The hunter gave up and left. That night, the panther couldn't stop worrying about the boy, and snuck over to find him. The boy thought he'd come to free him, but instead, the panther told him to stay put. The tiger had taken over the jungle. Going back now meant certain death. In the end, no matter how the boy begged, the panther wouldn't budge. He left, hard-hearted. When the boy woke the next morning, he found the cage door open. He was stunned. Then he crept out, careful and quiet. The moment he was out, he saw a hunter about to kill a wild boar. The boy was starving. He hacked straight at the raw meat. The hunter saw and quickly stopped him. Seeing the boy so lost, the hunter hesitated for a moment, then handed him his dagger, teaching him to cut the meat like a human does. The boy learned fast. He sliced off a piece and started eating right away.
Ferment cooked.
A woman in the village bathed the boy and wiped the grime off his face. When he came out, the villagers were struck by how handsome he was. The boy looked around, curious about it all. Life here didn't seem so bad. Everyone was warm and welcoming. Before long, he fit right in. The boy's astonishing talent stunned the hunter, who decided then and there to adopt him as his son. Little by little, he got used to life here. Even when his wolf brother once begged him to come back to the jungle, to stand with the pack against the tiger, the boy flatly refused. Anyone who abandons him doesn't deserve forgiveness.
This is my home now.
He thought he'd live happily here forever, until the day the village held the Festival of Colors. The hunter got dead drunk at the feast. Curious, the boy wandered into his room. There, he saw the dark side of human nature. The table was covered in animal trophies, a broken deer's head, a snake frozen forever, a monkey floating in formaldehyde. The boy was speechless, but what he saw next shattered him completely. It was the head of a white wolf, his old best friend, Little White. The hunter walked in just then. He proudly told his adopted son this was the prize of his collection. A mutant white wolf was incredibly rare. He even asked if it was beautiful, never noticing the boy's face breaking apart. Tears were already welling up when he heard the hunter's footsteps fade. The boy finally broke down in silent sobs. If he hadn't lashed out that day, Little White wouldn't have left alone. He'd never have ended up a trophy to feed a human's vanity, but it was too late for any of that now. He had gotten his best friend killed. The boy sat by the river all night long. Then it hit him. Compared to animals, the false mask on a human face is the most terrifying thing of all. So he decided to go back to the jungle, but before leaving, he would avenge Little White. The boy drew the dagger, ready to strike the hunter, but then he saw the scar on his waist. The tiger had left it, and a bold plan began to form. Just then, the boy noticed the tusk nearby. He knew exactly whose it was, so he stole the tusk away and returned it to its owner. Then he struck a deal with the elephant, help him kill the tiger, and he'd lead the elephant to the hunter for revenge. The boy went to where the tiger often appeared and shouted his name out loud. His voice carried to every corner of the jungle. At last, the tiger came. Seeing the boy show up to die with just a little knife, the tiger found it almost funny, but right then, the boy gave a signal. The elephants hiding in the bushes all charged out. Only then did the tiger realize he'd been tricked, but it was too late to run. The elephants surrounded him. The boy saw his chance, threw the dagger and struck the tiger, then leapt onto his back and grappled with him up close. The tiger knew he was outnumbered and started to flee. Just then, the hunter, drawn by the noise, took aim at the tiger, but still hung over. He shot the boy by mistake. Seeing the boy wounded, the tiger came stalking back. The hunter raised his gun again, never noticing the elephant closing in. The moment the tiger lunged, he fired. The bullet missed the tiger, but the hunter was killed. When the boy got up and looked, he saw the Wolf King had saved him. He'd also taken the bullet meant for the tiger. Just then, the panther and bear arrived. The tiger knew he couldn't win and left. The boy rushed to the Wolf King, but he was hurt too badly. He lay on the ground, barely breathing. With his last words, he was ashamed of how he'd acted before, and he hoped the boy would lead the pack on. Watching the Wolf King take his last breath, the boy slowly rose to his feet. He picked up the dagger, turned and looked at the villagers watching. Then, without hesitation, he stepped into the jungle. He found the gravely wounded tiger and raised the dagger to end it quickly, but the tiger still tried to fight back. The boy dodged in a flash, brought the blade down, and finished the demon for good. In the end, just as the panther had told him, he looked the tiger in the eyes until his spirit faded away. After that day, the boy seemed to grow up all at once. He took up the mantle as the new Wolf King, but no one could see the grief on his face behind that lonely figure. Maybe that's the price of growing